My mom and I are thrifting for fall home decor, and we're having a friendly competition, and you guys get to choose who the winner is.
We each have $30 to spend. We have 1 hour in one thrift store to see who gets the best decor.
And remember, you get a vote.
I'm contestant number 1, and I am for Team Cottage Vibes.
And I'm contestant 2, and I am searching for all things for Team Coastal.
I'm looking for a glass lamp because I've got an idea for some decor with it, but I want it to be more transparent and not have a design. I like the shape of these lamps. There's a pair of them, and I just don't like the finish. I'm not a chrome kind of person, so I would definitely, to get my cottage look, be changing the finish here. What do you think? Should I grab them?
Okay guys, I think those could be cool. They're not feather though. Kind of look
A little too worn.
okay. I'm pulling this out more for the frame. Let's see what it looks like. Definitely not fall artwork, but the frame's nice. Look at like the nice beachy coastal. I don't know, it's 15 bucks, which isn't bad, but for a $30 budget I have, we'll see. I'll put it in my cart and think about it.
I kind of like the shape of this basket. I could take the lining off and maybe I could fill it with pumpkins or fall leaves or something like that. I think the finish is fine.
Oh my gosh, my grandma had these when I was growing up. Look, it's like a clothespin head, kind of. Did you guys have these? Okay, I just found my mom, you guys. I'm freaking out a little bit. Look at all this stuff she has so far. And I have my one frame that I don't even know yet because it's half my budget for one frame.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm throwing things in just in case at the moment. Of
course.
Okay.
Competition's on though. I gotta get busy.
Okay, I could see these lanterns either filled with some fall decor. Of course, they need a little redo. They're definitely in rough shape. Or it could be a cute jack-o'-lantern. I'm so gonna win. Look how much stuff I have, and she just has her one frame.
I'm getting kind of nervous, you guys. My mom has a whole cart full. I mean, fall stuff, that's no price. Could make over a wreath. That's like a nice, not that, but it's a nice form for $5. I don't know. I'm gonna keep digging here. Christmas. I don't know, guys. I feel like I'm in trouble. Not finding good things. Too bad we're not looking for Christmas. I think those are cute. And I like the little wood base. $5. Okay, as much as I like this frame, I don't think it's worth half my budget. But also the sad thing when I put it back is I don't have anything in my cart anymore. I'm in trouble. What is this? I mean, that could be fun, right? Some candles. I put some stuff in there. I don't know, it's $5. I gotta have something in my cart again. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think this is like an upper mantle piece. I don't know if it's really old or not. I don't think it is, but it looks kind of cool. 25 bucks. I don't know. Could be old.
All right, I was kind of hoping I'd find something that's kind of more in the burgundy deep red colors because I'm using those colors in my house this year for fall. It's a scarf, but I think it'll be a beautiful table runner. And it's $3.
Okay, this has some coastal vibes. I could put a plant in it, or fill it with pumpkins or, I don't know, $2. I'm gonna get it. Okay guys, I'm worried again. My mom's smoking me. I have 2 items in my cart. I just ran into her. Let's see what she's got. But like, look, she's got this heaping cart. I'm definitely staying in my budget. What's your budget so far?
Well, I might be a little bit over, so I might not take everything.
Okay.
So,
But I'm freaking out. I need more
I'm
stuff.
close. I'm really close to 30 though.
Okay, check out all these pumpkins. They have letters on, but what if I painted them and did something? 1, 2, 3, 6 of them? I don't know. $1.50 each.
Oh my gosh, this is still in the package. Every Sunday when we would go to my grandma's house, she always fed us our snacks on one of these cute little wicker paper plates with the cheap paper plates inside. And she had a stack like this high, just a big stack of them.
Okay, I thought about getting embroidery hoops. This is like a really old one. I can put some cane in that, turn it into a pumpkin or something. Okay, you guys, I just found the funniest thing. For those of you who remember Cabbage Patch Kids, look at this. I've never, ever seen this. But it's like that fishing game. There's Cabbage Patch Kids. Hide and seek. How hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the color of this typewriter. It's not in the greatest condition, but it's so cute. Is this something that you'd pick up? It's it's $15. Is that 15? Yeah, 15.
Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this Star Wars stuff brand new in the box. 500 smackers, $3.75, 200. I mean, I get it. They're old. They're in the box. But holy cow. Wow. That's a lot of money sitting right there. My 11-year-old would be freaking out. He loves Star Wars. Okay, I'm sitting at $22.
Uh-oh.
Is it enough? Did I get enough goodies?
Time's up. I've got to go find Steph.
We did it. Let's go check out.
We can't wait to show you what we found.
Hey, Steph, show me what you got.
All right, guys, can you believe we're going to tell you what I spent for each individual item? $21.50 for all this, okay? That's a pretty good deal. Remember, you guys get to vote on who got the best stuff. So I picked up this cute little lantern. Totally fits my coastal vibes. $3. It could be fun with a candle, some fall leaves, acorns. I don't know. Some mini pumpkins. Okay. All right. This basket, $2. I'm thinking of like doing a whitewash on it to bring in more of those lighter tones for the coastal feels. It could be fun to stack with pumpkins or have little, maybe I set it on my counter and have some kitchen towels rolled up in it or something. That's not really fall though.
Well, if you did fall towels, it would be.
Sure. So I don't know. Thinking about that one still.
Okay.
Okay, this one was just too cute to pass up. It was.
All right, I admit that is really a cute
Yes,
basket.
$2, totally my coastal vibe. Same kind of thought process as this. I can stack some pumpkins in it, have some fall leaves coming out. I don't know. We're thinking.
Okay, now, what in the world are you going to do with this
You
piece?
guys, this is choice.
Hey, it's hand painted,
I know.
think.
It sure is. Somebody
All right.
did that. And it was in style once.
Sure.
Probably. Yes, it's old. All right. Thoughts for this. I have some extra cane or rattan that we've used for making cabinets. We did that in our cupboard fronts. I'm thinking of putting the cane in there, and it could be like a cute little pumpkin. This is the stem.
And very coastal with cane.
Sure
I love
is. Yeah, so that's my thought there. Then I picked up this stand for $5. Okay, you can see in there. So, I mean, initially I thought, yeah, candles on there, and I can put some fall leaves in here, some pumpkins. But then I found these pumpkins. I mean, I put them in here in the shopping cart so they wouldn't get damaged. I'm like, well, maybe that could be cute too.
I do like it.
So the
What are
standard,
you spelling?
well, nothing.
Okay.
Here, my plan would be styling them on the back side, but I'm going to give these a little makeover too. Because, yeah, the letters spell nothing, but I thought they were super cute. So I'm probably going to give them like a coat of spray paint, maybe make them look, I don't know yet.
Pottery barn-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what I got. $21.50. Boom. Let's see what you got now.
All right.
Okay, Mom, show me what you found.
All right, so let's start with these lamps. I feel like anytime you find a pair of lamps, you should buy them because it's unusual to find a pair.
It is. I like the shape.
And so you're wondering, what am I going to do with them?
Well, yeah, how are those fall?
I'm going to change. I feel like finishes make fall.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like a brass, an aged brass, or a bronzy color.
Cool.
Redoing those and giving them that fall vibe.
Okay. How much did you spend on that?
And I spent almost half of my budget, basically.
Mm.
They were $7 a piece, so
That's not
$14. It's not bad. So I know once I did this, I had to be really careful with what else I got. But I think they're going to be amazing when I'm done with them. Okay. I did pick up this. It's a scarf. And I thought that would be a fun little table runner because I'm really trying to bring in more burgundy reds into my fall decor this year.
Yeah, that's a good color.
After the Parade of Homes this year, I was so inspired by burgundy and olive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of bringing in those colors. Okay, I did pick up this, and yes, this is like a candle thing, or it came out of a light fixture. I'm not sure which, but I see it as a cloche.
That'd be awesome.
What do you think? Do you think this looks funny? The bell shape,
crackled finish.
yeah. So I'm gonna style this up as a cloche. Okay. And then I had to pick up this basket because I think the shape is very cottagey.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be fun to use for my garden to go pick my produce from the garden. So I'm going to rip out the inside and somehow style it up for fall.
Fun.
Okay. And then my last piece is this filthy, dirty lantern. But I want to, of course, clean it, probably give it a coat of paint. And then I want to use it for something else instead of a lantern. So you're going to have to wait and see.
Okay. But do you know what? The lines of it totally look like that lantern we saw at Crate and Barrel.
At Crate and Barrel, we saw this lantern. Yeah. Of course, theirs was... Oh,
right. Theirs was way bigger.
It was bigger. But it had the same lines exactly.
How much did you spend?
I spent $3.
Ooh, this was from Z Gallery.
Oh, so it was probably pricey to begin with. How much was it?
Well, not that bad. $16.95. That must have been ages ago because that's cheap.
Yeah.
Cool. So stay tuned. You're going to watch us transform each of these pieces and style them in our homes. And remember, you guys get to vote on who scored the best haul.
Hey, before we jump into our DIYs, we want to give you a quick update of our Team Water fundraiser.
Yeah, and for those of you who may not be aware, you missed our last video. We are teaming up with Mr. Beast, Mark Rober, and thousands of other creators. We're all on a mission to help raise money for those in need around the globe who don't have access to clean water. So the goal is to raise $40 million, and so far we have raised collectively $32.7 million. So we're super close to hitting that goal, but there's only 8 days left. So if you want to help contribute to a noteworthy cause, just tap the link in our pinned comment down below for all the details, and we'll give you more information there. A huge thanks to those of you who have already donated, and just as a reminder, it just takes $1 to provide clean water for one person for 1 year. Now let's get to these DIYs. All right, I'm gonna start on this project today. I have a scrap of cane from another project, and I thought that would be perfect to put in here. And guys, guess what? It's like a ½ inch too small. Dang it. But I also have this like weaved grass. Is it grass? I don't know. Something, but it's coastal like. It's a big table runner I have. So I think I'm gonna do that instead, and I think it's still gonna be awesome. So I'm just gonna trim it to fit like a little bit larger, and then I'm gonna soak it in the bathtub so it's easier to work with.
Okay, so I am going to just remove this art piece from the embroidery hoop, and the outside of it has some sort of yellowish greenish tint to it, which I don't like. So I'm just giving it a coat of white paint, and then I'm just gonna use an old rag to wipe off any excess so that it's not totally opaque, because I do want to see the wood grain through it too. So it's kind of just like a little bit of a wash. I let this grass cloth sit in the tub. Is it grass cloth? I don't even know. I let that stuff sit in the tub.
I'm not sure what it is.
Maybe like 10, 20 minutes. I mean, you just want it to get wet so it softens it, so it's a little bit more pliable. And then as it dries, it will actually shrink a little bit and tighten up. So we're just putting this outer form to the embroidery hoop back on. We're just gonna tighten it up super tight so that stays in there nice and tight and it will shrink. Then I took a utility knife to trim off the excess. It does work wet, but it actually works a little bit better dry. I was just a little hasty. And then once this does dry, it returns to its original color, which matches the frame a little bit better, and I embellished it with a cute fall flower.
And I think it is absolutely adorable, and it has your coastal vibe. It has fall too. All right, I'm excited to give these lamps a little bit of a makeover. First, I'm going to remove the price tags, and then I'm going to clean it first with just some rubbing alcohol to get that sticky residue off. And then I'm just going to wipe down the whole thing to make sure it's good and clean and ready for some paint. I also want to tape off the electrical socket part of the lamp and the cord so that it doesn't get paint on it. All right, I chose an antique brass spray paint, and this is from Behr, and I'm doing just very light coats. I don't want to get any runs on this as I do it. So I gave it 5 light coats of paint, and I did that for both lamps. Okay, after doing 4 or 5 light coats of paint on the lamp, I'm just not happy with the color. It's a lot lighter than the actual cap on the paint, and that was more the color I was trying to get. So I'm going to do a little experimenting and see if I can get the color that I want. All right, I've been practicing on this little thrift store plate that I picked up, and I think I've got the look I want now. It looks like aged brass, and so let's get doing it on those lamps now. So I'm going to use this Decor Metallics craft paint, and the color that I'm going to use is Rich Espresso. And I'm going to just use an old sprung paintbrush that I have, and I'm going to dab it on because I don't want to get any paintbrush marks, but I also want a little bit of that other color to show through to add a little more depth to the color itself. And this is what the lamps look like once I got the craft paint applied to both of the lamps. Now to get that aged brass look that I want, I am taking flat black spray paint and I'm holding my can about 18 to 24 inches from the lamps, just giving it a very light dusting. And in a few spots, I got a little bit more just to have it the aged area in a few spots.
I'm always amazed at these faux paint finishes my mom comes up with. They look really cool, and this does look really like old aged brass.
All right, I am thrilled with the way this finish turned out. So let's get all the masking tape off, and then we can get them styled up with some pretty lampshades. And I was lucky enough to find some lampshades down in my home decor closet that fit perfectly on the lamp.
Next up, I want to lighten this basket up a little bit. I'm using a sample paint we have from Portolo Paints. It's actually a lime wash. I've never used this before, but I loved the way it was looking when I put it on. It kind of has a transparent look or a whitewashed look, and I really think it's looking awesome. I'm also using a rag over a small section at a time to just wipe off any bit of excess so it doesn't drip into the middle of the basket, and I also don't want this to be very opaque. So look at this cool finish, you guys. I love that you can see the dark wood underneath.
It really, to me, looks like it's old.
Yeah.
It's really aging.
Yeah. So I really do love this look. Unfortunately, when it dried completely, it was a little bit more opaque and is brighter than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. It's still awesome.
All right, let's get ready to style this basket for our fall decor. First, I'm going to just remove that liner that was glued into it. And as I'm working with the basket, I realize that it's got a sheen to the wicker, and I don't like the sheen. So I'm actually going to take it outside and give it a coat of just some flat sealer, matte sealer, so that it will take that sheen off. And I picked up some pretty burgundy maroon mums at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to put some plastic grocery bags in the bottom to kind of fill up some of the space a little bit. And then I'm just going to fold the stems of the mums so that they will fit into the basket. Once I got the flowers kind of all separated there, I felt like it still needed a little something, so I decided to take some of these wild pampas grass stems that we had cut and just kind of place them in between the stems and kind of fill it in with that. And I kind of like that look. It looks a little bit more cottagey, boho-y something, but I like it.
Yeah, and I love the little fluffy texture it adds. Okay, next up, I'm going to work on these pumpkins. You can't really tell on screen, but the monogram and those leaves were a little bit raised in texture, so I couldn't just paint these pumpkins and get away with that. So I'm using a spatula to apply drywall mud over this area. And since I had to do it on this part of the pumpkin, I'm going to do it on the entire pumpkin so that it's all uniform. So no fancy tricks required, just smearing this on and letting it dry.
I was gonna say, is it kind of like frosting a cake?
Kind of. Yeah, the texture was a little bit like frosting actually. So yeah, it was really easy to do. I would just recommend letting it dry a full 24 hours because even I came in a little bit before that to sand them afterward and it was still a little bit wet in some spots. So you can't rush the drying process, unfortunately, but it's super easy to do. Once they are dry, I'm taking a 220 grit piece of sandpaper, and I'm not going for complete smoothness and perfection here. I just mainly want to get any like high ridges and peaks sanded down a little bit, but I do want to still leave some like imperfection. You know what I mean?
You want like some divots?
Yes.
So that your finish will look aged a little bit?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and I think I'm gonna make these kind of look like stone, so leaving spots like this is really gonna enhance that look.
All right, these pumpkins are coming along, but I do need to take a quick break. I have a haircut, so I will be back lickety-split. Hair's done, let's get back at these pumpkins and get them finished up.
Okay, now we're ready to paint all these pumpkins. I'm going to be using Sculptor's Clay. This is the same paint we used on our fountain video a couple of weeks ago, and it is just gonna be a really nice neutral base for these that's gonna help them look like stone. Once this layer is dry, we're going to use that dark charcoal, again, that we used from our fountain video, and I'm going to water it down. It is really pretty runny. Like, look at that. I just wanted it super runny so that I could just paint it on and wipe off the excess so it wasn't going to leave too much paint on the pumpkin. And to do that, I'm going to use a dry coffee filter, and I'm going to use a dabbing motion. And then if you feel like it's too dark in spots, I have a wet coffee filter too. So I'm just kind of switching between the both of those to kind of get that look and color that I'm going for. And I'm just going to repeat that on the entire pumpkin. looking really awesome, but they're a little darker than I was imagining. So I messed around with one. You can see the difference here. The one on the left is a little bit lighter. And I just want to show you really quick though, like the dark spots in the divots and imperfections. I love that. But lightening up a little bit just makes it look a little bit more like that natural stone look. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Now I'm using Sherwin-Williams Pure White, and I've watered that down a lot as well, just so it's really thin. And I'm using another dry coffee filter and just wiping it off immediately. And I did realize that it was best to work with one
Rib?
rib.
It's a rib.
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 Yes. I'm like, words. I don't know. It was easier to work in one rib section at a time so that I didn't get too far and then the paint dried too much on me. But yeah, this is super easy to do.
I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah. This is normally one of those techniques, like I feel like my mom knocks out of the ballpark and I struggle.
You do it?
But yeah, see, I am doing it. That means you can do it too.
You would never have guessed that those had little letters and whatever on them and leaves, and they were salvageable.
Yeah. And in the store, I just imagined decorating with them on the back side, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm so happy that I kind of had to cover them up because I think this look is way better than my original plan. So stay tuned. Remember, we're going to show you how we style each of these thrifted decor items in our homes.
For my next project, I'm going to just start out by giving this glass shade a good cleaning with some rubbing alcohol. All right, guys. Hey, I'm not sure that this was such a great idea after all. I thought it would be a cool cloche, but the more I've tried to play with it, I'm not so sure. So I want your opinion on what is the best way of doing this. So I'm going to put this little acorn, this little gold leaf acorn inside there, and I'm going to need to put it in a dish to kind of keep it. I want it to be upright. And so I'm going to use museum wax to kind of hold it into position. So I'm going to just scrape out some wax here, and I'm just going to mold it into a little ball, place it in the center of my dish, then place my acorn in. I want it to be slightly tipped. It's going to hold it. Okay, now I feel like it needs something around it. So I have these little eucalyptus seed pods that I picked up on the beach in Monterey, California. One year when we were there on a trip, and I think people thought I was crazy because I'm just walking along the beach picking these up, but I love them. I think they're really cool looking.
They're very cool. I wish I got some.
And they smell great still, and I've had them how many years?
18.
18 years. I've had them a long time. I still use them. Bring them out every fall. Okay. So that's my plan for inside the cloche. Okay, now this is where my dilemma comes in, is what to put the cloche on, because it's got the kind of crackly glass at the top. So I don't know. Okay, so these are my options.
The cloche on top.
Oh, okay. So this is what it's going to look like. So I don't really want it to get higher because you're into the crackly glass. So I would really love your opinions on this particular piece. Is this a good idea or a dumb idea? All right, this is option number one. This is just a wood round that I used for a cake stand for a shower. It's a bridal shower, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Or baby, I don't know.
Okay, so there's one option. What I don't love about this one is it's so much bigger than the cloche, but maybe that's okay. That's one option. Option number two is this little riser that I've had for years, and I could put that on there. I don't know if I love the look of that either. So tell me what you think. And option number three are these little risers that we made for our thrifting tea party video. And to me, this one looks the prettiest, and it fits mostly, but I'm a little nervous about it because I think it'll slide off. So I could put some museum wax on the glass and then it would stay put. Whoops, I'm already sliding. I'm sliding. Okay. There. So it would look like that. For appearance purposes, I kind of like the look of this one. It picks up on the gold and the gold. I'm just worried about it falling off. So I'm going to try museum wax on the edge here and see if that will make it stable. Okay, so I've got a little pea-sized ball. I'm just going to stick that on there. And if you guys haven't used this before, I love it. I use it all the time.
And you just learned about it, really.
I learned about it about a year ago, and you know, it keeps your picture straight on the wall. If you got a candle that's loose in a candle cup, you can use it. So I'm just going to put 4 little balls of this.
Yeah, the wax to me is like glorified putty.
Yeah.
Or silly putty.
But you can
what is
get
it
it back.
called? Sticky tack. That's the one.
Yeah, it's like sticky tack, but it's mostly clear. But you can get it off easily.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get it off. Okay, so I'm going to put it on, and I don't know. We'll see. If it shows too much, this isn't a great idea either. Okay, that ball's too big. I should make them smaller. I can see that, but
Well, maybe instead of balls, make little snakes.
okay, little snakes. Maybe that just isn't going to work.
I don't know, but it does look the prettiest.
Okay, maybe I do have it now. First step in transforming this old lantern is it's got to be cleaned. It is filthy. Next, I want to remove the glass panels that are in it so I can give it a coat of paint. All right, I am using the same spray paint that we used on the lamps, and I will tell you that I love the way the lamps turned out so much. I'm going to do exactly the same technique. So just 4 or 5 light coats of the spray paint so I don't get any runs. Then once it's dry, I'm going to apply that Decor Art Metallics color it's the Rich Espresso, and dab that on in the pouncing motion again. And then give it the final coat will be just that light dusting of black paint. I forgot how fun this is. Budget or not, it's making the memories that matter. Once the paint had cured, then I'm just going to put the glass panels back into the lantern. And then I'm just going to fill it with some pine cones and some acorns that I already just had on hand. And then I'm going to actually wind in a little bit or a strand of those mini fairy lights, and they are on a remote control, so I can just flip them on with the switch or the remote when I'm ready to turn it on at night. So technically, I guess it is a lantern, but there's no candle in it. So some other ideas I thought that you could do for this lantern is I thought it would be super cute to fill it up with fall colored gumballs or Halloween colored gumballs, or taking just like my vinyl cutter and cutting out a jack-o'-lantern face and sticking it to the pumpkin would be really cute and make it a pumpkin. So lots of fun things you can do with a lantern besides making it a lantern.
Yeah, and I think just your basic standard lantern with a candle is also just really pretty. So yeah, lots of different things you can do.
So I think it was a pretty good $3 investment, don't you think? All right, last minute, I decided that it needed a bow. So I ran to Hobby Lobby, grabbed a couple of pretty ribbons, and again, I picked that pretty burgundy ribbon and then a brown plaid, and I'm just gonna make a simple bow and then just attach it to the handle.
All right, let's move to my lantern. I love this. It just has that little coastal vibe that just fits my house so perfectly. And you know what? I didn't even clean it. You might think that's gross, but it looked okay. It wasn't nasty, filthy like my mom's was. So I, like her, I'm just going to fill it up with some mini acorns, pumpkins, and gourds. And I think it's going to look super cute up on our shelf in our kitchenette downstairs. I'm also going to just jazz it up a little bit with some rope. I think that gives it that coastal feel. And to add a little bit of fall color, I'm just using a couple strands of ribbon I had in my craft room.
I feel so happy that I was able to find this scarf because I thought it would be a great addition to my fall decor. Love the color.
Yeah, and I, for one, am a little bit jealous that she found it because it was a great find for $3, and I wish I found something like that with the color scheme that I had going on.
And I did wash mine beforehand because,
Well, yeah,
it's somebody's
fabric.
clothing or something. Anyway, so I gave it a good cleaning before I put it on my table. But I decided to take my little paper leaf garland that we made on our last video and put it down on the table because I thought it would look pretty. And then I'm just weaving in some eucalyptus stems, and they have a little bit of a pink edge on them, and it just looks really pretty weaved into the paper garland. And then just to top it off, the last thing is just some burlap pumpkins that I got at Dollar Tree years ago. And by the way, they're not $1 anymore at Dollar Tree. They're $1.50 for pumpkins.
$1.50,
Oh my-
not $1.25.
No, they've raised their prices again. I paid $1 for mine though.
Okay.
Oh, and then the last thing I'm going to add is just some brass candlesticks. These are just vintage ones. I picked it up at thrift stores over the years.
Okay, next up, I'm going to spruce up this little basket. Again, I didn't have to do a darn thing to it, which is awesome, but I put a bowl inside upside down as a filler so that I wouldn't have to fill up the entire thing with decor. Then I'm going to bring in some of my large seashells that I picked up at what's kind of a vintage store. Yeah.
And they were $2 a piece.
I know.
We took Alfie.
Such a good deal. Yeah. And then I have some of these burlap pumpkins from Dollar Tree too that we both got several years ago. So I'm just going to place those in there. And then finally, I'm going to put in some fall leaves just to add a little bit of color. And this is looking so cute, you guys. Then I decided to add a little bit more texture to this with some dried cauliflower root. I picked this up at a home decor store a couple years back, and it's just crazy. It looks kind of like driftwood to me, and who would have thunk?
Yeah,
Dried cauliflower root. But
Really?
look at them. They look really cool. Okay, that's it for the items that we thrifted, but we do have one little bonus idea for you.
I've had this frame for years just down in my basement, and I thought it would be fun to put a piece of fall art in here. And I want to show you how you can basically get art for free online. There are a ton of museums out there that have public domain art, and it is totally legal to download this art. It is free for public use, and it's available. It loses its copyright either 95 years after it was painted or 70 years after the artist's death. And there's just a download button on the website. All you have to do is click on it, download what you like, and then choose what you want to print. All right, because my frame is kind of an off size, I couldn't get a regular print made. So I had to print this one larger, so I'll need to trim it down to fit the opening. Okay, I started out by cutting a piece of foam core to fit inside my frame. And so now I'm just gonna place this over the art and kind of figure out where I want to trim it. I'll just use a ruler to make sure it's square. Okay, so here's our cropped piece of fall art. I'm going to use a spray adhesive, and I'm going to spray the back of the art and the back of the foam core. And then it helps to have two hands to place this on, and then just get it lined up with your foam core and smooth it out so you have no air bubbles. All right, now I just want to make this look like a genuine oil painting. And so I've got some glossy Mod Podge, and I'm just going to brush it on in random strokes and make brush marks, and this will dry clear. It's going to just make brush marks in my painting, and it will really give it the look. In fact, I have fooled my sister more than once, she is an artist, and she's like, "Where'd you get this painting?" And then I tell her, and she's like, no, And I say, yeah.
It's true. I was there for one of the
Yeah.
foolings.
The new ones I just put in my entryway. She's like, these look like French paintings. And I said, well, they are from a French artist. Anyway, fooled her again.
Yeah, so if you guys want to like hand pick a really cool piece of
Pick
art
art.
from that site we showed you,
Yeah.
you can make some totally custom pieces for your home at a fraction of the cost. Like this, what
Yep.
was $10?
I paid
Just for the
$10.
size of the print you needed.
Yep.
So dependent on how big you need it, what you're going for, you can do this super cheap.
And I did originally print this. This one was printed to 20 inches by 30 inches. So that is a big piece of art. Great way to get art for cheap. Okay, now we'll just let that dry.
Now it's time for you to get ready to vote. Let's take a look at contestant number 1's Cozy Corner. Let's see how my mom styled her home for fall to get those cozy cottage vibes.
right, let's take a look at contestant number 2. Let's see how Steph has styled her home for fall with her coastal vibes. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Remember to vote for who you thought got the best decor. And if you're interested in participating in Team Water, click or check the pinned comment.
And YouTube thinks you'll like this one next.